Hey guys, my name is Gloria and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to do the local haunts book tag, and I was tagged by Alex from Hey Little Thrifter, so I will link her video down below. It's great. There's a cool dog. Awesome. So this is a tag that is related to the local haunts horror tube anthology book, which I'll link my review of that up below. It has short stories from loads of horror tubers and booktubers, and there will be another one coming out next year as well, so that is cool. You should definitely pick up that if you haven't already. So this tag has 10 questions in it, and I think it was created by Dane Reads, who also has a story in it, so I'll link his original video as well. And let's get into the questions. So question number 1. Local haunts. Tell us about a creepy or spooky place that's close to you. So I am currently in Dublin. I don't know a lot of spooky places. I kind of should. There is a tour bus that goes around Dublin when, you know, the world isn't weird, and it's the ghost tour bus. And it's purple, and I've always kind of wanted to do it. I think it stops off at different graveyards and stuff. Nobody really wanted to do it with me. That's never stopped me before though, so I should do that whenever they come back. I was going to do to talk about the Black Church until I realised that they ruined the spookiness. And the Black Church is a really cool looking spiky church up the top of Dublin, or up the top of O'Connell Street. It's right around the corner from the Irish Writer Centre, where I used to spend all my time, and looks really cool on the outside. It's made of this particular stone that when it rains it turns black, so that's why it's called the Black Church. It's also called Mary's Church, St. Mary's, but apparently there were some legends that if you walked around it anti-clockwise 3 times at midnight you would see the devil, and it's supposed to be a gateway to hell. But I watched a little 2-minute video just before I filmed this, and I'll link that down below, and it was a guy from the Dublin City Library, I think, talking about it, and they've now just turned it into office spaces. So I think I have a picture of here. I was like, oh, it's so cool on the outside, but why aren't there like pictures of the inside? They're talking about the cool walls and stuff, because it's just a bunch of admin people in there. Like, that's just boring. So I looked up another place, and this is a place I've heard of before actually, and I think it is quite a bit spookier. So there's a church in Dublin called St. Michan's, and it's really super old. The building at the minute I think dates back to 1065 AD, I think, possibly, but it's built on like a Viking foundation pretty much, so it's super old, and it has loads of dead mummified bodies. So let me just get the facts up. So it is loads of dead mummified bodies, built on the side of an early Norse chapel. The structure currently dates from 1686, still pretty old. It also has an organ inside that, depending on where you look, the composer Handel either composed Messiah on it, or he just practiced Messiah on it before actually performing it in Dublin. So underneath it there are vaults that contain mummified remains. So among the preserved remains are the 400-year-old body of a nun, a 6.5-foot man popularly believed to be a crusader, and a body with its feet and right hand severed, and the Shears brothers, Henry and John, who took part in the 1798 rebellion. The various holders of the title Earl of Leitrim were also interred there. Now I think I heard of this last year because I was listening to a podcast of Blind Boy's podcast, if anyone knows it. He's a Limerick guy, and he is very into history, and he was quite disturbed that someone had broken in last year and stolen the head of one of the mummies. I think it was the 800-year-old crusader, the 6'5" guy. They just broke in and decapitated him, and it's just so stupid and ridiculous because you know it was just some gobshite who stuck it on their bedside table or something. It's ridiculous. Blind Boy, the podcast I was listening to, he's quite famous in Ireland and other places. He kind of put out an appeal for them to bring it back, and sort of the guards, and I think it was eventually brought back, but it's just stupid. So I think you can go and visit the creepy bodies as well. They did close that off while they had to get the head back, and I'm sure they have much stricter rules now, but you can go down and you can visit these weird bodies. Apparently it's really warm as well, so the limestone that it's made from like keeps the bodies cool, but like it's really warm down there because it's so low down. I don't know. It looks a little imposing on the outside, but not really creepy or anything, but the dead bodies definitely tip over the edge for me, so that would be a cool place for me to visit as well. I should really visit more places. This is the wrong time to be planning these things, but when things get back to normal, that's what I'm going to do. Question number 2 is a stone's throw. All of these sort of titles to the questions are based on stories in the horror anthology. I'm not just saying random words. So a stone's throw tells about a story with a young female character who has a tough life. So recently, I'm currently filming a reading vlog to get through my portable magic book subscription books that I've been getting, that I have not been reading since June. And this is The Possession by Sam Hawksmoor. Or The Repossession, sorry. It's not about a possession or a repossession, there's no demons in it, but there is a girl who has a very religious and terrible mother who is convinced that she is possessed for some reason. I think it's just because she says that her grandmother's died, and they find out her grandmother has died, so clearly that's the devil working, and they lock her up like Harry in the Chamber of Secrets, and they put bars in her window, and then people from the church come in and offer her food, and then when she tries to take it they just burn her with crosses. So I think that's a tough life. I think that's a fair assessment that would be a tough life to live. Crowthorne tells about a story with a harmful friendship. For this one, I picked a recent read of mine that I'm going to do a review as well, called Ladies of the Canyon, and this is a story of a woman in Hollywood. She has a Netflix show, but she has some drug issues, and she just got out of rehab. She's really trying to make an effort to show people she's changed, and she makes friends with an older actress at one of her AA meetings, and she very kindly says like, I have a huge mansion, you can move in with me, like I'll help you get through this and stuff. And she was like a child star, and she's sort of a name that everybody knows, but she hasn't worked in a long time, and needless to say that friendship does not do well for this recovering drug addict. So I think that one's a good one. Number 4 is Scream 8 tells about a movie that is based on a true story that scares you. So the one that always comes to mind, the one that when I saw it in the cinema and I was like, that's the scariest thing I've ever seen, is not a horror movie. I always, when people ask me about the scariest movie I've ever seen, is I always tell them Spotlight, which is about the Boston Globe journalists who broke the story of what the Catholic Church were really up to. So that one is definitely based on a true story. That's probably still happening, which is one of the reasons why it's scary. I mean, the whole thing is scary, but then at the end they put up a list of all the countries and places in the world where it's been documented that priests were being bastards, and it's pretty much every country in the world, which is utterly terrifying. But that's not actually a horror movie, that's just real life. But a movie that is a horror movie and is sort of fictionalized versions of real events is a movie called Veronica, and it was on Netflix a couple of years ago. Really good movie. It's in Spanish. It's set in Madrid, and it is the story of a 15-year-old girl who plays with a Ouija board. I think she tries to do a seance with some of her friends, and strange things happen in her the little flat she shares with her parents and her siblings. I think it's just her mother and her siblings, and it's based off of the police reports. So it's coming from actual police officers who were called to respond to different messed up things that happened in the house. So it's based on their actual reports and things that they couldn't explain. So really interesting real life story. Really good movie as well if you're looking for a great demon possession movie. Veronica is mucho bueno. Mucho bueno. I don't speak Spanish. Question number 5. The amount of death. Bear me. Tell us about a story that a drink plays a part in the plot. This is my excuse. I accidentally made a mimosa yesterday. I just wanted to throw some orange juice in prosecco and thought I was being cool and unique, and then I googled it and it turns out it's a mimosa, so I like mimosas. Where a drink plays a role in the plot. I recently read, I don't know if I did a review on this channel, but I recently read a book called Ambrosia by Madison Wheatley, and it is a novella about a woman who doesn't really like her weight, and she gets dragged into this really upscale fancy gym, and they're just as she's going in, they ask her to try out this new drink called Ambrosia, like an energy drink that they're trying out, and it gives her energy and she thinks it's great. But they're really pushing these samples on people, and she starts to realize that the ambrosia is keeping her there and she's addicted to it, and it's really interesting sort of speculative fiction horror. I would definitely pick that one up as well if you like it. But the actual drink plays a huge part of the plot in that. Haha! Question 6. The Blocked Cellar. Tell us about your favourite true crime or paranormal horror YouTubers. So, I've been watching a couple of people's of this, and it's just kind of cool to see other people mention like YouTubers and stuff that I'm like always really excited about, and to know like, oh, you watch those too. So the few that I watch all the damn time is That Chapter. He does talks about true crime stories and stuff. There's also Bailey Sarian. She does other vlog things sort of, I think, but her murder mystery and makeup Mondays are absolute favorites of mine. She does true crime stuff as well, but around Halloween and stuff she also talks about some kind of ghost stories, and she's a makeup artist, so she does really cool looks and costumes and stuff. There's also an Australian YouTuber I like called Bella Fiore. She does other like lifestyle and blogging stuff, but I don't watch any of that. I just watch her true crime ones. I think she said at one point that she actually has a degree in criminology, so she talks a lot about the crime scenes and stuff and what people are doing wrong in those stories. And also Lazy Masquerade is a sort of storytelling guy who reads out stories. Who reads out stories that have been sent to him. Corpse Husband is another one who reads out stories and stuff, and that's great if you just want to stick something on while you're working away at something. They tell some good stories. Oh, and this might be the uncool version, but I really liked BuzzFeed Unsolved as well with Shane and Ryan. It's like the only good thing that's come out of BuzzFeed. They do turnabout seasons between true crime and supernatural stuff. When they're not in a pandemic, they go and visit haunted places and they spend the night. Shane is a complete skeptic. like myself, and Ryan is scared of his own shadow. They just started a new channel called The Watcher with one of their friends called Stephen Lim, and they have a few things on that. So they have this cool one out at the minute, the series called Are You Scared, where Ryan will tell Shane a story with illustrations, and he has to decide whether it's a true story or a fictional one. They did a really funny short series called Too Many Spirits, where they got really drunk while they told stories that were sent into them, and they would write the stories. That one's really funny. But yeah, if you're looking for a little bit of more lighthearted, more funny stuff, I quite like those guys as well. I'm so jealous. If anyone hasn't heard of any of these YouTube channels, I'm actually really jealous of them, because there's so much content, there's so many videos for you to just enjoy and go over, and I'm just super jealous that you get to do that from scratch. So question number 7 is the Night Watchman. Tell us about a story that's set partly at night. For this one, I think this is set almost exclusively at night. I read, a few months ago I think, I read a novella called Butchers by Todd Sullivan, and it deals with very brutal vampires. If you're looking for a lot of blood, a lot of torture, a lot of fucked up stuff, you can check that one out. But that is about vampires and this sort of ancient sect of vampires that are always in the shadows. They're all around us but we don't know they're there, kind of thing. But it's very brutal, and it's almost exclusively set at night. Question number 8, Alone Among the Gum Trees. Tell us about a story that's set in the wilderness. For this one, I did pick Wilder Girls by Rory Power. I just read this. I was going to make a video about it. I might just make a short review about this, but this is about unfortunate girls who went to a boarding school on an island, Rikers Island I think, and in America, and they're completely cut off from everyone, and the island is infected with this bizarre, you're not really sure what it is, sort of virus thing that is changing everything around them. So it's infected the girls, it's infected the animals outside, it's infected the vegetation, everything is sort of mutating and doing weird things. The girls go through weird sort of cycles of having these seizures, and then something about their body will change. There's a girl with like weird almost metal scaly arm. There's people who like develop gills and stuff, and it's just 50-50 whether you'll survive these or not. And it is a lot to do with the wilderness outside and with the environment and how it's affecting them. So that one definitely. Question number 9, Highway to Hell. Tell us about a story that involves music. So I just did a review of this one. It's called A Song for the End by Kit Power, and it is about a band that come up with a song and unknowingly release it into the world, and it goes viral, and it for some reason makes anyone who listens to it tell the absolute truth, or their brain hemorrhages and they die. So even a small untruth, a lie of omission, whatever, if anyone tries to not tell the truth, they'll just start bleeding from the brain and just die, and the deaths stack up pretty quickly. So for that one I think music is the main part of the plot. The last question is question 10. At the end of the rope, tag some booktube or horrortube friends. No. I hate tagging people. I know that's the point of tags, but I like it when other people tag me. That's cool, but I don't like tagging people because it's always just super awkward. Have you done it before? You don't like it? You don't want it? Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm really sorry about that. I hate competitions where you just to enter the competition you have to tag like 3 friends. Like, I don't have that many friends. Stop making me do this. I don't want to do this. Thankfully my boyfriend has like 2 Instagram accounts for different things, so I just tag him all the time. But yeah, if you want to do this, if you have a channel, booktube, horrortube, whatever, If you want to do this, please consider this your tag. I'm tagging you specifically, and let me know if you do it so that I can watch your video as well. I'm going to finish my drink. I didn't even mention my little green guy, my little haunted Irishy green guy here that I've put in. My housemate wants to watch Hereditary tonight, so that's what I'm doing. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what I'm doing here, you can like and subscribe down below, and I shall see you in the next video.